All right, we've reached the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead and get started. This week's session is about contentment. So this one's called Enough Right Now. So go ahead and settle in. If it's comfortable for you today, go ahead and close your eyes. And there's always an option, just keep your eyes open. Let your gaze settle soft and low. Picture someone standing in front of an open refrigerator on a hot night, that particular late summer ritual. The light spills out, the cool air drifts over their face, and they just stand there for a minute, scanning the shelves for something, though they couldn't tell you what. Nothing in there is wrong, nothing is missing exactly. And after a moment, they close the door without taking anything out at all and go sit back down. That would be a small, ordinary brush with contentment. The strange discovery that what we were looking for wasn't in there because it was already here. And that's where we'll spend our time today, not chasing anything down, just noticing what's already sufficient in the room, in the body, in this exact unremarkable day. And we'll come back to that. First, let's get settled, get the body settled. Feel where your body meets your chair. Feel your feet on the floor, a little weight settling into each one. Let your hands rest any way that feels at ease for you today. Lengthen up through the spine, not stiff, not straining, just enough lift that the breath has somewhere to go. Let your shoulders soften down and back. Not trying to arrange ourselves in anything special, no pose to hold, nothing to correct. Just let your body be exactly as settled as it already is. And now let's find the breath. Picture a kettle that's just been taken off the heat. The whistling fades, the rolling and rattling ease, and the water underneath keeps moving for a while out of habit. Small circles, slower and slower, until it's just still water in a warm pot, not doing anything, not needing to. Your breath can have that same quality. It doesn't need to keep building towards something. It can just be here, doing its quiet, ordinary work with nowhere further to go. Notice the inhale arriving. Notice where it lands in your body. Where do you feel it? And the same on the exhale. Just notice the exhale releasing. Breathing in, I stop searching for a moment. Breathing out, there is nothing missing right now. Breathing in, this breath is enough. Breathing out, this body is enough. Breathing in, I let the wanting rest. Breathing out, I arrive where I already am. Breathing in, I let this moment be complete. Breathing out, I rest inside it. As you sit today, the odds are high that your mind will wander at some point. Maybe toward tomorrow's errands or a bill that needs paying, some small thing you think you still need. It's not a failure in any way. It's more like a lawnmower going a few yards away. Into it or not. You don't need to go see whose yard it is. You don't need to be bothered by it either. Just notice the sound. Let it be exactly as important as it actually is. Come back to the breath. Let that breath be an anchor that we can return to. That coming back is really the heart of the practice. Not never wandering, just remembering there's somewhere quieter to return to. So notice the hum, then let it fade into the background where it belongs. There's an old saying about as plain as it gets. Enough is as good as a feast. I love that line because it doesn't ask us to give anything up. It's not telling us a feast is bad. It's just quietly pointing out that we've been measuring the wrong thing, treating enough like the disappointing runner-up to more, when really enough was the whole point all along. The feast is just enough, dressed up and given a party. I think about this a lot when I'm teaching balance. Someone will hold a posture, maybe standing on one leg, steady and upright, weight rooted in the standing leg, and their instinct is to ask, is this right? Should I lift higher, hold longer? Is there something more? And most often the honest answer is no, that's it. That's the whole exercise. The body already found what it came for. Pushing past it wouldn't make the balance better. It would just be restlessness wearing the costume of effort. Contentment isn't resignation, and it isn't giving up on wanting things. It's just the quiet skill of noticing when the thing you were reaching for has already arrived and letting your hand come back down instead of continuing to reach. And that's really the message today. Not more, not less, just this. Noticed clearly and allowed to be enough. Picture a cupboard or a pantry shelf, yours or one you remember from somewhere else. Jars of this, cans of that, a little flour, some rice, whatever is usually kept on hand. Nothing fancy, just the ordinary stock of a household that's been getting by day after day without anyone making a fuss about it. Now picture opening that cupboard, not to see what's missing, but just to see what's there. Really look. Notice how much has quietly accumulated without your really tracking it. Enough for tonight's dinner and tomorrow's and probably the day after that too. Let yourself feel just for a moment the specific relief of a well-stocked shelf. Not abundance for its own sake, just enough. Sitting there patiently, having been enough the whole time you weren't looking. Notice that you didn't have to go check the shelf for it to be true. It was already stocked before you opened the door. Some things are like that, quietly sufficient, whether or not we remember to notice. Let that image of the pantry go and picture a small stone, kind you might pick up from a riverbank or a gravel path without quite meaning to, and then you find it later in your pocket. Smooth from years of water passing over it or from your own thumb rubbing it absent-mindedly during a conversation. It doesn't ask to be a bigger stone. It isn't waiting to become a boulder or worried about being smaller than the one beside it in the stream bed. It is exactly, precisely the size and weight it is, and it has been shaped patiently, slowly into exactly that. Imagine holding it now in your palm or just in your mind's eye. Feel its plain, unhurried weight. Notice it isn't trying to convince you of anything, it's just there, complete, the way a stone that's had a few thousand years to settle into itself tends to be. Let yourself borrow a little of that. Not the size of the stone, but the subtleness of it. Whatever weight you are carrying right now in the body, at this age, in this life, let it be just for a few breaths, exactly enough. I have a longish poem today from Billy Collins. He wrote Consolation, I think, half as a joke on himself and half in real earnest. A poem about choosing to stay home instead of touring Italy and discovering there's nothing at all consoling about the choice because staying home turns out to need no consolation whatsoever. This one is a bit long. It follows a very short one we did last Friday, which was a haiku. This is Consolation. How agreeable it is not to be touring Italy this summer, wandering her cities and ascending her torrid hill towns. How much better to cruise these local, familiar streets, fully grasping the meaning of every road sign and billboard and all the sudden hand gestures of my compatriots. There are no abbeys here, no crumbling frescoes or famous domes, and there is no need to memorize a succession of kings or tour the dripping corners of a dungeon. No need to stand around a sarcophagus, see Napoleon's little bed on Elba, or view the bones of a saint under glass. How much better to command the simple precinct of home than be dwarfed by pillar, arch, and basilica. Why hide my head in phrase books and wrinkled maps? Why feed scenery into a hungry, one-eyed camera eager to eat the world one monument at a time? Instead of slouching in a cafe ignorant of the word for ice, I will head down to the coffee shop and the waitress known as Dot. I will slide into the flow of the morning paper, all language barriers down, rivers of idiom running freely, eggs over easy on the way. And after breakfast, I will not have to find someone willing to photograph me with my arm around the owner. I will not puzzle over the bill or record in a journal what I had to eat and how the sun came in the window. It is enough to climb back into the car, as if it were the great car of English itself, and sounding my loud vernacular horn, speed off down the road that will never lead to Rome, not even Bologna. It is enough to climb back into the car. Come back to that line, not because home is better than Rome, that's not really the point. It's that he stopped auditioning his own life against some other more impressive version of it and just climbed in the car, sounded his own horn, drove off down his own ordinary road. That's contentment most days, not deciding nothing else exists, just deciding this counts exactly as it is without needing a passport stamp to prove it. And let's start to bring our awareness back from the imagery. Notice the room around you, the chair beneath you, your feet still resting on the floor. exactly where they've been the whole time. Whatever you came to today still wanting, it's allowed to still be there. This time wasn't about talking you out of wanting things, just time to notice underneath the wanting how much is already quietly enough. Carry that cupboard with you if it helps. Carry that stone in your pocket, even if it's only in your mind. Let today hold a little less reaching and a little more arriving. Moving on to our affirmations for our topic of contentment. Just let them resonate in whatever way feels right. Take in what lands, let everything else just pass. I am allowed to stop searching for something I already have. I am allowed to stop searching for something I already have. Enough is not a lesser feast, it is the feast. Enough is not a lesser feast, it is the feast. My life doesn't need to be measured against anyone else's. My life doesn't need to be measured against anyone else's. I can want things and still be at peace right now. I can want things and still be at peace right now. This breath, this chair, this afternoon, sufficient just as they are. This breath, this chair, this afternoon, sufficient just as they are. Take a couple of moments of quiet to consider our practice today, owning anything that particularly resonated with you. After just a bit of quiet, another tap of the bowl, and we'll begin the gentle journey out of practice and back into our day. As the sound of the bowl dissolves to silence, take a few moments to again feel your hands and feet, maybe wiggling your fingers or toes. Feel again the contact of your body with the chair. And take a slightly deeper breath and just let it go slowly. Notice any sounds in the room and beyond. And when you're ready in your own time, just let your eyes open gently again and let the light back in. Thanks for practicing with me today. Thank you for being here. Namaste.